Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. This is Isabella's final show, and I think it's important that everyone knows the story behind it. We've had a tremendous falling out. We can't stand each other, so she's
Hate each
decided
other. Come
she's
hate.
she's
Hate.
decided to move on. That's a nice little bit to run around the rumor mill. So let's get that out of the way.
That is
Uh,
funny you mentioned that first because yesterday after you posted the upcoming podcast, I got
yeah,
so many messages like, oh my God,
what's going on? What's going
what
on?
happened?
What did he do?
I
What
said
did
the
he
same thing. I'm like, Danny, that guy, the worst. The
asshole?
worst.
Yeah,
The worst. The
yeah.
worst. So
All right, so should we give them the actual truth of it?
yes.
You come to me a couple of weeks ago. You explain what, because you got other stuff in the fire and stuff, and then we can break that down. And yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. I mean, all good things have to come to an end for other things to be born, Danny, if we
yeah,
were to get philosophical in here.
yeah, exactly. So what are you actually doing? Because you never put it in writing to me, and you didn't give me like 4 years like term on the end of it, like to to
Right.
to allow you from the drought, the jail stricken contract that we have. See, look, what's happened. I wish it wasn't true. That I think we've got to stop messing around, because actually people really do think that we fell out when we haven't.
No, guys,
So
we're totally joking. I
we're
love
taking the
Danny.
piss.
Danny, I love you. This is my love letter to you.
Yeah,
Danny, I love you. You're the
I
best.
love you too, kiddo. It's been a great couple of years as well, but it's just gone so fast. This is the thing. Is like, realised, was it October? So we're
So
almost up to 2 years.
yeah, we spoke in September. We were making plans, and I want to say we either started end of September
Yeah,
or beginning of October. And yeah, you're right. And it's been 2 years, and it's been such an incredible journey. I remember, you messaging me like, "Hey, I would love for you to be a co-host." And my head, I'm like, "No way! I'm not getting on a podcast. Like, what is this guy thinking?" And all I could type was like, "Absolutely, let's go." Sometimes we gotta go against our fears, and there's a lot that hold us back. I mean, your podcast is just so incredible, so amazing. After all these years, like you have such an amazing audience, and it was so beautiful, Danny, because I went to Sell and Skill this last week, and I'm going to like humble brag right now, but I had
yeah,
so many people come to me and say, you know what? I've heard you on the podcast, like you inspire me, like you've changed something in me. And I'm like, oh my God. In my head, I'm like, fuck. And I just told Danny, I'm done.
yeah.
I'm like, this is great timing. No, but really it just goes to show you that even when you think nobody's listening,
Mm,
there's always one person listening that you may have effect on. So it's very important that we put in a lot of thought into the things that we say to people and how we say it, because we as humans, we feel that. So your podcast has opened up this connection between me to your audience, and I'm so grateful. I just loved being here. This was probably one of the best things that I could have done for myself, because before starting with you, Danny, I wasn't really organized, not in the way that you would think, right? I mean,
mm.
I'm like messy organized, right? But with Seller Sessions, it was something that I consistently had to show up for myself. And that I think in 2 years I missed maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and
We just
I
lost
think
you.
two out of
Yeah.
those three I had COVID.
Go on. You got to the point of 2 years. Just want to repeat that again, because the signal just dropped out for me
Okay.
here.
No,
Yeah,
I said, I think in all this time, I've only missed like 2 or 3 live episodes, and
yeah,
it was partly because of COVID. But it goes to show you, like, when we set our intention and focus on something, we can do it. I was thinking to myself, I can't wake up every Monday at 6:30 and prepare for the show. And what people don't realize, it there's a lot of work that goes behind what you do, what I do, what everybody in the podcasting world does. It's not just like you just show up and you're just there. It's like the thought process that goes into it, the connections that you make, the people. So it's a lot more work than it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I've got it down pat to absolute chaos. Meaning is that you get to the stage where, like, when you start out, you're writing down all the questions and you're nervous. But between us, we're nearly racking up to 1,000 episodes, right? I know I was here before both of you guys, but if you've been here 2 years, Izza, that's like 100 episodes you've done. Sharon's done about 100 episodes, and I've done about 750. You get to the point where you want to do the consistency, but like you're not always booked that far in ahead, like that well organized with everything going on. But for some reason, the content always appears. It was the same when I'd done the COVID run. I didn't know where I was getting content 7 days a week. Sometimes it's 20 past 3 in the fucking afternoon. I'm live in 40 minutes and I'm like, right, what are we going to do today then? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you, for some reason, it just appears. The content turns up, the people turn up, and you have a good show. Do you see what I mean? But the thing is, it goes back to the whole thing of consistency. You don't mind me saying this. You're not a drinker or anything, but you're out at conferences, you're in the club. Sometimes you're walking straight in from the club to do the
Listen,
podcast.
Danny, are we really going to talk about this?
Well, here's the thing. The difference is for you, you can do that. I'll be too pissed to host a podcast, so I know better. But because you don't drink, you can walk straight in, shower, bit of makeup, job done. Yeah,
Exactly.
so and no one even notices until I've just grassed you up.
And there may or may not have been a few times where I just went straight from being somewhere to like right into the podcast. I'm not going to tell you guys which episodes those were. You'll just have to figure it out.
You just have to kind of guess it. So let's quickly talk about what is coming up. Like, obviously, you've dedicated a couple of years to the podcast, right? You've got a lot of stuff going on, but obviously there are coming times when you have to focus on certain things, and obviously podcast takes up part of your time. And I said to you at the very beginning, it's the same with Sharon. It's very organic. It wasn't like, oh, let's go and get two women and put them on the podcast.
Right.
It came along very organically, how it happened, right? And I know that, I said to you, look, there's an opportunity here. People, you're well respected, you're well connected, you're consistent, it's like, would you like to do the podcast a couple of years ago? It took about a month or so before we managed to get it all arranged, and now you wanted to do your show, because I think it's very important. Although it's my platform, I don't want your brand, if we like want to call that, to be swallowed up. So you're still independently Isabella Hamilton. That's why it was important that you had a show on the platform rather than Isabella from Seller Sessions, because you retain your own identity. It's the same with Sharon on Thursdays, right? So you're complete different entity, like separate from the platform.
And it was such a perfect combination between the three of us. I mean, we all have different personality, yet we have so much in common, and we all have our own little side. And I remember, like, when I first started, I was very nervous. I mean, I've never done podcasting before. I mean, I speak to people all the time, but it's so different because not everybody reacts the same to like your energy or your questions. So, with podcasting, when you interview somebody, you have to really be fluid with their personality, right? And try to fit in and make them feel as comfortable as possible. And it takes a while. It takes really good judge of character and really high EQ to be able to have conversations really with anybody from any walks of life. So I think it's so beautiful that this exists. Honestly, I never thought I would be a host on a podcast.
I know, but that's the thing, is you develop new skills. When I spoke to Sharon as well, she wasn't a podcaster. She's a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it's a very different approach in terms of how-to guides is one thing, and to interviewing other people. And these are all learned skills, right? So we all have to start somewhere and make those adjustments along the line. I've always said I won't listen to the first 100 episodes. I'm embarrassed. But my thing was to make sure you two got up to speed as quick as possible. And you did. You got it took a handful of shows to, like, you've got to find your voice, your tone, and how you like to communicate with people. How you connect with the person is very, very important. Like, my thing is 9 times out of 10, it's like my job is to do the 80-20. 20% is me, and then sit back and listen and let them unfold, because people not come to see me, they come to see the guest. And my job is to enhance that experience by asking the very best questions I possibly can. I think with us, when we do stuff, it's like it's a chat, right? It's like me and you just having our normal conversations off call that we do live. So it's slightly different format between us in terms of chemistry and communications on a friends basis. But I think with you is that I like the way that when you're working with your guests, you build to a crescendo as well, right? There's a structure in there, even though you might not write all the questions down. You bring like the intro, you bring it up in the middle, and you find a way to settle it at the end, right? And that's a skill that you have to learn. And I noticed that you try and get it so the listener goes on a bit of a journey, and then you be able to land them at the end, so they walk away and they feel good, you know?
Right. I mean, that is the purpose. The purpose of having guests on a podcast is really not about you, but it's really about the guests that you're having on, and making sure that you highlight the most beautiful things about them. You know, everybody wants to hear. Oh wow!
So talking about guests, hello Christina, how you doing?
Unbelievable! I'm like, I had to do a double take. I'm like, wait, is my bestie awake?
Yeah, she got up for you.
I don't think she's awake, guys. Let's give her a minute. I love you.
How are we doing, Christina?
Thank you so much for bringing me over here. I'm here to celebrate this day, celebrate Isabella. It's very special day for me, and thank you so much for invitation. Couple things I want to say. First of all, when she started that amazing Monday morning with those inspirations and motivations, I think that was the time when people in Amazon community really needed that. It was the COVID time, and we all been lacking a beautiful woman early morning on Mondays, giving us advices, talking to us, and it was really enjoyable time to see, and how much progressed Isabella in her interviews, in her amazing ability to open up the person and making them answer the questions and give advices even they wouldn't think that they would do. I'm really impressed the way you grow with this, and I'm really grateful for Danny for giving this opportunity for you. You guys did amazing, and again, that's an amazing thing that you brought it up into the Amazon community. You let, so how many people exactly you had? I remember, write it down.
Well, you know, when we done when we get to 100 episodes, there was a couple of times, I think it was 600, 700 and 800. Like when we done that, I think the first one, I tried to do 60 guests in 60 minutes. It took 74 minutes to get through it, but it was worth a crack anyway. And I think 54 of the 60 showed. Talking about guests, look who's popped up to see you.
What is this? What is this?
I think it's Kevin King's here.
I swear I did not know this was happening.
I know, but that's the whole point. That's it wouldn't be a surprise. That's why I said to you, can you come in on the guest link? Don't come in on the host link. Yeah.
I love you guys. So sweet. Oh my God. How are you, Kevin?
Good. How are you? Long time no see.
Oh, really long time.
I know. It's been like 3 days?
I was starting to miss you. I was like, where is my Kevin? I mean, come on, everyone. And there's Danny making wishes come true again. So thank you, Danny.
So, Kevin, do you want to say a few words about Isabella? I know that you have been good friends over the years as well. And
yeah, I remember when I first met her. It was like at a Topgolf, actually, like in Miami, like 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, "Who's this girl?" She was like, she knew all this stuff about like Amazon launching. Like, where did you come from? And it's like, I got to know you a little bit better. You've been like this little hidden secret out there. And then shortly after that, she just started exploding out onto the scene. She was like this little secret, and then she took over the podcast, and took over Mondays on the podcast, and was doing a great job there. So no, I've always had a lot of respect and props for Isabella.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Tell me more. Tell me more, guys. What else? What else
Head swelling now.
Please go on.
But no, obviously, because when obviously you met Kevin, like I met Isabella more on the road in terms of not as speaking on stage, but more that she was attending a lot of the events. I actually met Isabella, and I didn't realise until I looked back at some messages, was 2015. Ash Thompson introduced us. We only spoke once, and then we spoke again about 2018 or 19.
7 years, Danny?
Yeah. Back in
Wow.
2000, and Ash Thompson he introduced us, and then we didn't speak again for like 5 or 6 years. I didn't put the connection.
Yeah, I was like, this guy, nah, I'm not this guy.
I wasn't sliding in your DMs, by the way. It was work related. Kevin, so you've seen she's kind of developed over a period of time, right? Because when we both originally knew Isabella, she wasn't speaking on stage, and now she's done the podcast, and even recently you had her at the $1 Billion.
Yeah, my first speech actually was at the women's conference. I was actually there. I think it was at right before COVID.
Yeah.
When it like at the that women's conference in LA.
Yes.
I think that Melissa Simons or something put on. I remember you were super nervous, and you went up there and you just crushed it, and you did just an awesome job. And since then, you've just gotten better and better and better on each one. And I don't know who goes to more events, either you or Rich. I'm not sure who's at more events.
Listen, you cannot take this away from Rich. Rich is the conference goer. I will bow down to Rich. He's the conference master. So yeah, nobody is equal to Rich. So thank you for second position.
So what is it? So we still haven't said what's coming next. So we took a step. You're taking a step back from the podcast to focus on other things. What are they? Let's have a quick chat about.
Honestly, I don't know, Danny.
You're just making it up as you're going along. Do you know what? We're doing this show so that everyone puts a ballot in to vote that you come back, right? So this is just
my God. Yeah. No, I'll definitely come back. I mean, you told me to, anytime I want to interview somebody, just go in and do it. So it's not like I'm going away forever. Yeah. But it's just, the way it came to me. I mean, I just love being here and having the opportunity to meet all these people and improve my skills. I mean, beyond just the podcast, but it's time to really look into myself more. Honestly, I've been on a journey this whole year of just trying to find myself more. And, we all think, we have it all figured out, but really it's through the journey that our path really starts showing up for us. So, going from this podcast, I mean, with the experience that I have, I can't say immediately, oh, I'm going to move to another podcast or make my own. I really don't know. It's just sometimes you just got to listen to your intuition, whatever that is. And I feel like I've been doing a lot more of that. And this was just one of the things, but I truly enjoyed it. And like Kevin said, I mean, just, first time you're so nervous and second time you're so nervous. And really that nervousness, whether you speak on a podcast or on stage, it doesn't really go away. It just kind of transmutes into almost this excitement, and you get to learn even more about yourself, because every time you go on stage, I mean, at Selman Skill, Kevin King walked in with Manny and Guillermo, and I'm like, oh my God, this is pressure now. So of course it's impossible not to get nervous. People are like, oh, you're just so natural on stage. No, I'm freaking the fuck out, like literally 3 seconds before going on stage. And, I'm sure there are other people who maybe they just walk in confidently, but it's not about that. It's about feeling fear and doing it anyway. And same thing with podcasts. I mean, remember my first episodes were so shitty, Danny, that people are like, who is this? But, I could have let that take me down and upset me, or I can be like, you know what? I'm getting better. And you never really end this journey. It's just, you want to keep growing, keep evolving. And, whether it's this podcast or something else, I mean, we are meant to evolve and grow, and nothing really lasts forever. The only constant is change. Yeah. My God, welcome to my TED Talk.
So,
my goodness.
So you still didn't answer the question. What are you doing next? No, I'm joking. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm focusing a lot on Rank Bell right now. And, the NFTs also came into my life, and not necessarily the NFTs that interest me, but this whole new technology that we're about to walk into. And really, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all of these. And it doesn't even matter. It's just, I want to be happier. Like, how do I make myself happier? And because when I'm happy and my happiest, then I make sure that everybody around me is happiest. So I want to continue doing that. I want to keep bringing that to people. And, whether it's through a podcast or a YouTube channel, again, I don't know what that is, but I do want to keep spreading my message of love and compassion and empathy for everyone listening, because like Christina said, I mean, during COVID, we needed this. We needed each other. And now I feel like every time we see each other, we got even closer to each other. We love each other more. And the fact that so many people came up to me and they're like, Isabella, I see you on a podcast. And it made me want to cry, because you never really know who is listening. You never know.
No,
And,
it's different. Yeah, it's different. You obviously, how many downloads, etc. you got, and the feedback loop what you get is at the conferences. You get people email or they messages, a great show, da da da, but then you get more in-person stuff. Kevin, I don't know if you find the same now that you've taken over AMPM.
I get it more from Freedom Ticket or something like that, or other stuff. But AMPM, since I've taken over that podcast, it definitely, I'm getting a lot of comments of people, because it's different. When you do a webinar or you do or you do a group thing like this, or you go on some session, it's different than when you're on a podcast and someone's got you in their car or on their run or on their jog, and it's much more personal.
Yeah, exactly. Because
it's a whole different thing. They feel like they know you, like they become your friend, and you don't know they're your friend.
Exactly. It took me. That was the weirdest thing for me to adjust to in the very beginning. That people come up to you and they will talk to you like they've known you for years, and then you clock on, and then you make the adjustment. Or someone will come up to you and go, "Do you know you've been in my car for the last 4 years," or "I always with you when I'm eating, like cooking dinner or something," because podcasts are more passive, right, in the way that it operates. So it's the gym, it's walking the dogs, it's cooking dinner, or it's played in the background as you're running your business. Versus, I know we're on Facebook now. I mean, we only still do Facebook and YouTube and stuff. The numbers have gone down there because COVID's done. But where it really is at is on the podcast. Like, we do about 45 to 50, coming up to 55,000 downloads a month, thereabouts, right? I'm happy with that because it's a core audience that are very focused about what we're doing. But that is where the core audience is. Kind of what we do, as I've said to both the ladies, is that by doing it on set days of the week, it keeps the structure, because you're doing this on your own, Kevin, right? And when you do a podcast, you record like 5 or 6 in a day. Is that right? So you batch record.
Yeah, I do them in batches. Yeah, usually. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way it works for us is that we'll carry on, or we have been carrying on to do them on YouTube, on Facebook, etc. Because we know that Isabella turns up Monday. I was on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Sharon's Thursday. Then everyone knew their positions and what time they had to be there. Because if everyone's sending over files, it all gets in a muddle, and the order gets wrong. So if I could say to goodbye to everyone at the end of the show and say Sharon will be with you tomorrow and Isabella back here Monday, it could all be over the shop. Do you see what I mean? But it's definitely the format for me, and it stayed that format. Even though we're on people sitting and watching now, it's very much as a passive format, I think, podcasting.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, again, just this ability to connect with so many, like you said, thousands of people. I mean, 55,000 people downloading. That's not a small thing.
No, that's downloads. That's not the number of people. So there's obviously there's the group of shows that take place in that 30 days. So we get 45,000 to 55,000. Now that's not the biggest and I'm sure Kevin does more, etc. But it depends on what your target audience is. Who are these people? Do you see what I mean? And I've always been very focused with everything I do. I focus on the 1%, and everyone can join the party because it's free. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's always been my goal. If we focused on like beginners, like I learned a lot through Scott Volker. I think everyone kind of go through that with Scott. But once you become the beginner and you become intermediate, you start looking around for other places. So I've always tried to stay more on focusing on the 1%, and then everyone can still join the party, because some people come to the podcast if it's more technical, not today, but if it's more technical, they might go, this is a bit too high level for me. I'll go back to the other podcast, but then they come back a year later Do you know what I mean? Once they've embedded in Amazon, they understand the lingo, the FBA language, and stuff like that.
One of the things you guys do too is you're more raw. I
Yeah.
mean, since it's live, and you and Isabella and Sharon are more raw, and it's more, there's cussing. It's like say it like it is.
Yeah.
It's unfiltered, unedited, basically, because you don't even edit them afterwards. My
No,
understanding is
they go
they
straight out.
just go straight up, and
They go straight out.
mess ups and all, if there were any.
Yeah. No, you leave everything in, because I think people then, people know who you are then, because you're being who you are, right? It's not to say that other people are not. And I also find is that, a couple of things. I'm a lazy fucker. Why would I keep wanting to put music at the very beginning and end and have to check it all? When people, for me, they care about the people and the content, not the intros and outros. And that's not to disrespect anyone, but it's like what matters most is getting the content out there in the rawest format possible, or is it the editing after? And I'm a former sound engineer, so really I should be very anal over all this stuff. But there's days where the audio's a bit distorted and stuff. But at the end of the day, you get the content to the people, and the people then become the judge of it. And there's different ways of doing things, and I think that's part of it. Like you said, Kevin, that's part of, we're a bit rough around the edges, or at least I am, from the East End, right? So I'm a little bit rough around the edges. The ladies obviously not, but I think that's part of the charm. We've just lost Isabella. Where's she gone?
I was practicing me leaving. I was like, let me see what it would look like, and I'm back.
Kevin, do you have any final words for Isabella, and then we'll go into Christina as well?
No, I just know she's on her way. I think last week she grabbed me. I was walking through the hallway. She's like, Kevin, what are you doing? Come with me. We're going to go see this guy talk, this hypnotist guy. He was on Clubhouse. We're going to go see him talk. And we went and saw his talk. And it was a good little talk. But in the talk, he was like, so I want everybody to take a minute and think of a number. What is your number? Where are you going to, what number will it take for you to be not happy? That's the wrong word. What's your goal number? And everybody's spitting out numbers like 10 million, 50 million, 30 million. Here's Isabella. She raises her hand, and he's like, you. She says, 1 billion. I'm on my way to $1 billion, and nothing's going to stop me. And I believe it. I believe she's on that way, and she's a very smart girl, very talented girl, very good at networking and everything. And I believe one day I'm going to say, I knew her when she only had $100,000 in her pocket.
Yeah. Oh my God. You're so sweet. You know what? This is so beautiful, guys. It's a nice moment. We're all family here. And, even being at this last event, just seeing all our friends that we know over the years, and there has been such a big crowd, and Celestial, like so many different people that I didn't know, but it's like, I see Kevin, it's like, it's my brother. Let's go. We created this connection, and I feel the same even for the listeners that I haven't met, for them to come to me and share this with me. They're part of my family now. Like you said, Danny, like I'm at their dinner table, or, I'm in the car with them. And it's just, it's a really nice feeling knowing that you're able to help somebody. And I want to get back to one point that you mentioned, Danny, which I think it's so great. You said, consistency over quality, because a lot of people don't start, whether it's podcasts, whether it's a business, because of this fear of this like perfection. Like, I'm going to start when I have everything lined up, and by then you're already like 50 episodes in, by the time people are even starting to get that ready, because they're thinking, oh shit, I don't know how to podcast, but let me at least make sure I have the sound, the video, all this ready, and then I'll be ready. And then you're sitting there like, oh my God. But it's better to just start it as raw and, whatever, with mistakes, and however you are, you just show up, and then that transforms into where you are going.
Yeah. What you were saying is progress over perfection. Because let's be honest, like, perfection doesn't exist. Because nothing can be perfect, because no one can reach the level of perfection. So what happens is a lot of people can drop off and be hyper self-critical to get to be perfect. Therefore, it knocks away any of their motivation. And motivation is one thing, but discipline is what keeps it going when the motivation disappears. So if everything has to be perfect, and then it's not perfect, you're relying on being motivated because the self-doubt, because you haven't reached perfection that does not exist. So you're better off with progress over perfection, right? Because we're all shit at something when we first start. It doesn't matter who you are. You can have a talent for something, right? You can have a flair for something. You go, oh, I'll try that, and think, actually, I could be quite good at it. And that comes because you're enjoying it. But it doesn't make you good. You shit at the very beginning, right? You have to accept it. And then you feed into it, you know, and some people get better and some people go backwards. But the ultimate point is that fuck perfection. Just get the job done. Get it done, and worry about perfection and all the and making edits and all this kind of stuff later, or you'll never achieve anything great if you strive for perfection. All you're gonna do is end up fucking miserable. That's what it'll do. It'll drive you to misery. True? Am I chatting shit? It's true though, right? You'd be absolutely miserable.
You are talking shit, but we love it. It's like it's Danny. It's like
There you go. I went on a little bit of a rant there.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Probably because I like to just get stuff done. I can use the excuse. Look who we got here.
Sharon, hi. Oh my God, your name. Stop. I love you. Oh my God. This is the best day of my life.
I have exactly 5 minutes. So I want to first of all say hello to everyone. Hi, Kevin and Christina and Danny and Izza.
Hi.
I want to say that you're amazing. And I just want to tell everyone this isn't goodbye from Isabella. It's just goodbye for Isabella for now from Cellar Sessions. But you're not going anywhere. You're just on this path and on this journey to continue kicking ass. And I love that Kevin spoke about how you're so kick-ass and your dreams are so big, and you have said you're going on this $1 billion journey, and like I believe in it, Kevin believes in it, we all believe in it. And I just wanted to say that you're amazing. You're a kick-ass mom, you're a kick-ass entrepreneur, you're a kick-ass networker, you're a kick-ass at everything that you do. And I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to meet you face to face, because you know I unfortunately can't go to events as much as everyone else can. And I'm so happy and blessed that I was able to share the stage with you rather than anyone else in the industry, that it was you, and that I had the chance to host specifically with you. And you're so raw, you're so real. And I wish there were more humans like you in this world who are so loving and compassionate. And yeah, and I'm sad to see you go, but I'm happy for you because I know that you're on this journey. And, you know, everything's about timing in life. And this is the time for you for now. But like, because everyone's like, oh my God, what happened? Nothing happened. Is this just, you know, moving on to big things and bigger things? And that's okay. And we're here to just tell you how, you know, we love you. You're amazing. I love you. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Can you slip in one more? I love you, Sharon.
I love you. I know.
If it's not clear, I love you.
Yeah, do you know what? One thing you haven't said is throughout the whole show, give me a catchphrase.
I love that.
I love that.
I love those words. Yeah.
You know, I didn't even know I was doing it until people started telling me. They're like, you know, you say that a lot. And then I started becoming paranoid about it. And every time I wanted to say it, I'm like, I don't love that. No. But, you know, it's like you start being aware of it, and it's cool. You know, I am cool to be known as the I love that person.
Yeah.
Because it really embodies, honestly, who I am.
Yeah, because people come up to you and they do the impression. They go, I love that. And they go,
do.
and with me, it's, makes sense.
With an accent that I don't even have. It's like an accent from every country, you know, depending where they're listening from. You know, they have their own interpretation. I love that. But I love that. I love the fact that people are taking away, you know, something amazing. And, you know, Sharon, thank you so much for, you know, this beautiful words. And you said, you know, I wish there were more people like that. You know, this is what we're trying to do. Like, you know, this is what I did with Danny. This is what you and Danny do. This is what Kevin does. This is, you know, the people who are not afraid to put their voice out there. And actually, going back to your first original question, Danny, what is after this? More of this, really. Like, I think my purpose really in this world is just to bring joy and happiness to other people's lives and empower them to believe into themselves as much as I do right now into myself. And it doesn't come easy. It's just like the end of the podcast. You got to keep showing up.
Your path is just, your purpose in life is just so much bigger than Amazon. And that's why I think, like, we all love Amazon, etc., but it's just so much bigger than Amazon. You're so much bigger than Amazon. And, you know, if we look at the type of people you brought on to Seller Sessions, you brought on really big names and really, you know, really huge people in the world, not just in the Amazon industry. And I think that you've just, you know, your purpose in life is just so much beyond the Amazon industry. Like, you need to get out there into even more and more, not just industries, but just to humans out there in general. Like, the Amazon industry today for you is so small compared to how huge your heart is and how much knowledge you have, and how, like, I don't even know what the right word is, but you have your foot in everything. You know what it's like to be a mom. You know what it's like to have $1 million business. You know what it's like, you know, you're just so much bigger than just the Amazon industry. Not that I'm, you know, we're all in the Amazon industry, so I'm not belittling what we do.
Yeah, that's not an attack or anything. Yeah.
It's not an attack on the industry. I mean, it's my life, the Amazon industry. But what I mean is, you're so much bigger than that, you know, today. And you need to, like, and this is why when you told me you were leaving, and I was like, I was actually happy for you, because I was like, you know what, you need.
Finally, he let her go. Yeah.
Finally, we got this one now.
You need to be doing really, really, like, even bigger things today. You know, not belittling what we do, but this is small for you now. You know, you're just such an important person when it comes to the message that you bring out of love and compassion. And, you know, and it's okay to not know exactly who you are and find yourself and things like that. Beyond all the actual, you know, strategic knowledge that you have so much more than that as well. That's it. I'm going to shut up now.
Thank you. And it's, you know, I just want to, you know, take what you said, and, you know, I received that with gratitude. And, you know, for those listening, it's not that, you know, bigger than that. I think what you were trying to show is, you know, this power that we all have beyond just like one little focus.
Just this
it's not that anybody's bigger than Amazon, but it's also like, we have to remember we're not just good at one thing. You know, the one thing that we keep doing and showing up every day is because that's what we focus on. If we're able to just shift our focus a little bit onto other things, we will find out what are some other things that we thrive on. And I know it's very comfortable to just sit and do one thing, you know, like Amazon. I'm only doing Amazon. That's all I'm good at. I have no other skills. If I got $1 for every time somebody told me this, you know, I could only do one thing. But people tend to forget, I mean, just running a business, it's more than just being an entrepreneur. It's having the ability to know other people, having the ability to speak, having the ability to feel into, you know, what the next business deal is. It's so much more than that. And I would hate for people to think that Amazon is just this one little box. I mean, we are so much bigger, all of us, than just that one little thing.
Yeah. Do you know what also I think? Because you're so upbeat, right? I think some people, because they're different perceptions, right? I think some people are like, is she for real? Like, is she this person? Meaning, is that her all the time? And yes, it is. You know, like, it's like someone comes along, you like a little mini Marilyn Monroe whirlwind that just turns up, right? And then people gravitate towards you. And because you're so positive in a lot of things that you do, but it doesn't change. Do you see what I mean? But I think some people go, hold on, is this a bit of a catch? Do you know what I mean? And it's not, because this is what you like, off call, on call, it doesn't matter, you know. And that you've kept that, you've always been consistent with that. But that's the other thing, it can be infectious. When you get around people, that can be very infectious for people. Does that make sense? Because without going hippie, it's energy, right? Like, you know, when you're around good people, the vibe's good, the energy's good, right? You don't feel like the room's just been sucked out, you know? Yeah, exactly. And because you have that upbeat energy, that has an effect on people, a positive effect. Like Kevin, when he sees you, he starts dancing because of all the energy that bounces off of you. Didn't you, Kevin? All the way down in Austin, proper hardcore Austin guy. And like, look, he's laughing now, but it's true. She has an infectious
Yeah,
But
she has a
Adrian-
very strong presence, a very strong energy about her.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like there's
exactly.
like an aura around her.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes her special. Is
It
that
is.
energy? Because when Isa walks in the room, people pay attention, and that's something that you can't buy. That's something, you know. I spoke to Isa about this. If I can say this, Isa, like branding deals and stuff. I was always conscious, like when we looked at some deals for you, is that you held on to your image rights. Because it's very, very important, because that is something that people want to harness and leverage and stuff like that, and you always have to be protective of that. But I've always said that is some people just have it, they carry it, they walk into the room and the room lights up, and you're one of these people.
Yeah, so speaking of that, after I moved to US, and I had such like trauma in a sense, living in another country with a different culture. But you would talk to me and I was the shyest person. Like I couldn't even look you in the eyes. I would look down. So, you know, it's not natural for majority of the people, but again, you just keep putting yourself there, you keep showing up, and it doesn't matter if you fuck up, it doesn't matter if you mess up, as long as you keep doing it. So it's never natural. I mean, I have yet to meet a person that's just naturally amazing. You get better at it every single day, and it's like,
Well,
how can I make other people feel amazing around me? I want to bring this energy to them. So my intention every time I step out of the house or when I wake up is like, how can I make myself happy and those around me? And if you happen to find yourself in my presence, you will find a little bit of that, but it's never like a greedy energy exchange. It's just like, this is who I am, and I can be loud and I can be funny. I make fun of myself. I think I'm funny. Not everybody thinks, but I laugh at my own jokes. So that's another weird thing. So we all have our own little quirks, but you just got to show up as your honest and real truth, because that is what sets you apart. So it's not that I'm, any different than anybody listening out there, but I have the courage to be like, this is me. Like, this is me. Take it or leave it. And when you're more of who you are, people that love the person that you are will keep coming to you.
Yeah. You know what you mentioned about someone keeping on the straight and narrow to stop you from messing up? Who does that with you? Here he is.
Hello, my brother.
Hello.
Just before hand off, Sharon's got to get back into what she was doing. She has to say goodbye now. So
I love
it's goodbye forever. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say I love you and goodbye. I'm sorry. It's the New Year here, so I have to go to be with my family because we're in the middle of a feast and yeah. So I'm sorry I have to go, but I just wanted to say I love you, and I'll see you soon, I'm sure. And yeah, and bye to everyone and good luck.
Right. Thanks,
And
Sharon.
I will be in touch.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Minachka, how
What's
are
up?
you?
What's up?
Dude, this is like a party at 8 a.m. Guys, it's 8 a.m. in California. Like, this is crazy that I have so many amazing people who love me. Thank you. I love you back.
Of course. Of course. I wouldn't miss it. When Danny said he's like, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have like meetings or whatever, and then so I like ended up like canceling one meeting. But it's all good. I'm so glad that I was able to make it.
I just use shaming tactics on him. Cancel. Make sure you show up. Yeah.
He's like,
Everyone
you have
else
to
is
show up.
showing
What
up.
do you mean? And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Shaming.
I wasn't thinking when I said I couldn't make it.
Yeah, I'm busy. He said he was busy. How dare he? Did you
Guys,
hear that, Isabella?
it's just been so crazy, man. Isabella, you know how it is. Like we go to something like Prosper or Sell and Scale, and like you can't even like think or breathe or anything like that. It's all good. You will have a lot more of me like now,
Cracking
like,
the whip. Yeah.
When I'm back in October, there's gonna be a lot more focus.
That's awesome. We can't wait for you to come back, my friend.
I know. I can't wait, guys. I really can't wait to hang out with you guys in person. And honestly, how many episodes did you do of this, dude?
Listen,
wow.
this is the first part. I don't know what you were doing. We already talked about this. Is like old news, like 100.
Okay. Yeah. But anyways, like, remember when you were telling me, like, you told me, listen, like Danny McMillan. It seems like yesterday, dude. Wow.
It's been
and you
2
didn't
years.
miss it,
2
even
years.
when you were like in Miami and like there was nowhere to do the thing. You never missed one. So like that's straight up dedication.
Actually, thank you for reminding me. So just one quick little story. Mina's girlfriend, also the EO and probably COO of Trivium, everything. She's everything. She was in Miami with me one time trying to find a place for the podcast because the internet wouldn't work in my room. So we go downstairs, we find this room, so we lock the doors. Unbeknownst to us, we locked them. And then the security and everybody from the hotel would came and try to break in, and Brian was like, no, she's on a podcast, I cannot let you in. It was like one of the funniest stories. But you see, these are things I almost wish we had, like, behind the scenes footage from.
That'll get a lot of people in trouble.
Because I'm sure you did too.
No cameras after dark. Yeah.
But I've had a good time with this podcast. It really kept me accountable, and really I got a lot of people involved in it. I mean, not besides just my guests, but finding myself in places like where I have no internet, like, or being in Mexico and having to come up with ways, and it's people are waiting to hear from you, so you do everything in your power to make sure that you show up, regardless that you didn't sleep all night and you just came straight from space in Miami. Shout out to space in Miami. Hashtag coolest spot ever. But I have done that. I have gone from space directly into a podcast, and it's just life. It just shows you that we can mix everything. We can have this joyous and loving and fun part of us, but also be accountable to those who are looking up to you or are just on their way to finding themselves.
Yeah. Mina, do you have to jump off, or you're right for a bit?
I can stay on for like 3 more minutes if that's okay.
Wow.
Yeah, cool. Kevin, did you want to say goodbye? Because I know you're a busy man. Any final words for Isa?
Yeah, just congratulations, Isabella, on everything. I know whatever you do next is going to succeed and be great, and I can't wait to be there and see it as it happens. And best of luck on everything.
I love you, my oldest friend, one of my oldest friends in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I'll see you again soon.
All right,
Take
bye-bye.
care. Bye. Christina, any final words?
Absolutely. I want to summarize those beautiful words that were that we've heard before, and create this special momentum for Isabella. And you said that there is no perfection, but I should not agree with you here. In front of me, there is the perfection. We've seen.
Talking about Mina?
No, you.
Thank you so much, Christina.
I love you. Continue. I'm sorry.
We've seen this beautiful woman coming from Romania, how she made her way into the Amazon space, into the Amazon community. Started with the most craziest and most challenging niche as launching the products and helping people to rank their products. Everybody needs Isabella. Amazon community is Isabella. Isabella is Amazon community. You are in everybody's head, in everybody's heart. However good or bad, you are there. As it was written here, you are the legend of this community. You are the perfection as the business owner, because whatever life gives to you, you make it happen. If the business is not good, you make it work again. You recharge the batteries without any fear, without any doubts. You jump into something what your heart is calling you as an entrepreneur, and you try new things. This is the biggest thing, that you are fearless, you are strong, you're brave, and you can conquer the world as the business owner. In Amazon community, everybody loves you. You are the only one that has ultimate patience, ultimate consistency with following the rules, with following chats, doing the small conversation with each and everybody. Everybody loves you, and that's again makes you the heart of the Amazon community. This momentum today, I want to celebrate you as a beautiful woman that made her way all the way up. Everybody loves, respects, and please, wherever you're doing next, I'm wishing you all the best luck in the world, and you're gonna conquer it no matter what, however you did it before, 10 times, 100 times stronger. We all love you, and we're wishing you all the best, and thank you for that time. Thank you for the people you've been bringing on the stage. Thank you for your time you did in Seller Session. That was unforgettable and very memorable experience, and I think 5, 10, 20 years back we might be seeing these people and you on this saved YouTubes, and we will be, oh my God, that has really been the end. Wow, what a memory. So thank you for that momentum. Thank you for Danny for bringing me over here. I will celebrate till night today, Isabella, and that's been a special day today. I woke up at 8 a.m. It's not happening very often, but we
No, I know.
love you. You are the best, the best, the best. You are my perfection.
I love you. And thank you, Christina. And you know what? I want to mention one thing is because of people that love you that you get to flourish. Like I couldn't do this without you. I couldn't do this without me. And I couldn't do this without Danny. I couldn't do this without Kevin. You know, everybody here. This is what we do. We are humans. We are connected to each other. I could not be Isabella Hamilton without my friends, without the community. It would be like nothing. So I give all that power back to you and everyone else because you know we are all here to walk each other home. One of my favorite sayings. Really is true. You know, in the end, it's like what is left beside, you know, wow, that person really made me feel like I could achieve something, or this person really inspired me, or, you know, this person smiled at me or showed me love. And, you know, you never know who you touch. And being aware of just being in a present and being mindful with our words. And you never know the battles people are going through. And, you know, who are we to think that our problems or issues are bigger than everybody's? And when you start looking at that, you're thinking you cannot but have empathy for those around you. So really my secret to being so loving and open and joyous is because I am hurt as well. You know, I have pains that, you know, you can always show to people, but knowing this about myself, and I think I have a pretty good life. Like, I mean, I talk shit about being in Romania and communism and not eating and, you know, not having lights and heat, but that's nothing. Like literally, if you think about it, I mean, it's just part of my journey, but my heart breaks for those who have gone through worse things. So how dare I think that my issues are somehow bigger than others? So what I do, it's not that I don't have issues or problems into my life, but it's like, doesn't matter because I am here to support my fellow humans. And if I can be a light in this world and show that to them, then they can take that and become the light for somebody else. And if each one of us does this in the world, that's all we need in the end. You know, there's no competition then. There's no, and that's why I think I have this like a funny side of me because I want people to be comfortable. I want them to see me raw and, you know, and making a fool of myself and making mistakes because I allow others to open their heart and allow them to be who they are without feeling judged. And that's the most beautiful thing in the world. When you start experiencing the power that you have on other people, you cannot but love them and love yourself even more in the process.
Deep.
I love it. I want to say a couple things before I leave.
Okay.
And well, you know, obviously it takes a very special person to podcast. You know, I see like a lot of people podcasting out there, and some people just show up on the camera and ask a few questions, and other people, you know, they kind of like want something, right? They're doing it selfishly. But I think Danny, you picked Isabella, and it was a really, really good decision. Because Isabella is like truly one of the most abundant people I know, and she has no ulterior motives ever, and she genuinely just wants to give without ever asking or expecting to receive anything back. And I think it really good podcasters, you know, like you and like her, is very, very hard to find. And I think you made an
everyone's
amazing...
waiting for the catch because
there's no catch.
Yeah, that's the thing, and then it doesn't come. That's what I was saying about Isabella's
Oh yeah,
energy.
the catch for Isabella. Yeah, there's no catch.
Like, or it's the same with me. It's like, oh yeah, when we're gonna sell out the podcast, when you do, you know, and it's like still going. And some people think, fucking hell, is he still going? Is he still driving everyone mad with that fucking podcast? Do you see what I mean? Because you just be consistent. Like who you are is who you are, right? And eventually, if you wear a mask, the mask comes off because you can't keep hiding from it. So when we say about like you do this selfishly, are there benefits? Of course there are benefits from it, right? Isabella will get benefits. You'll get benefits on there. There's an audience that gets benefits if the content is right. Advertiser will spend money at your events, which also then subsidizes the seller. So it goes round and round. But I think the point we're trying to get to, it isn't like, I've tried to keep Seller Sessions as a podcast content first. So there's not like pitchy people coming on, and I explained to guests and stuff before, because I think if you can leave the content, don't bastardize the content, because the content is everything, right? Focus on the content, and the rest around it will take care of itself. And when you think like that as a content producer, sure, you might not make as much short-term money, but it's the compound effect. It's what you do year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, and it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. Do you see what I mean? So that's why if you pay it forward, you focus on what's important and you don't move off that line. But what the point I'm getting to is people will go, well, where's the catch? When's he going to start doing affiliate deals? When are you going to start putting links at the end of the show? When we're going to start getting ads run? And it never comes. And it's the same with Isabella. It's like, why is she so positive? It's constant, over and over and over. And they go, yeah, all right, when's the mask going to slip? And then it doesn't, because it's just consistent. So sometimes you have to win people over purely by just getting up and doing day in, day out, and just being consistent and congruent on who you are.
So deep.
I love it. We love you, Isabella, so
I
much.
love you guys. Thank you.
All right, Mina, we'll say goodbye here, and also Christina, we'll wrap the show in a minute. But thank you for jumping on. I know you're both busy.
Of course.
And I look forward to seeing you both soon. Take care. Bye.
What a beautiful surprise, Danny.
Well, you deserve it.
Thank you. It's nice to, just know that you have people that love you. It's so great. And again, the way you get people to love you is when you start loving people. There's really no catch there. Like, we're not all that different, all of us. And as long as we start recognizing that and sharing that with people, and even for those like beginning to just sell on Amazon, they might think, oh, I have no value, or I have experience, I don't have what to give. So they're usually the ones that sit by themselves in the corner, and but I say no to that. Like, we have so much more to bring, and if you just are being kind to one another, like, that's the best part. That's the best start you can possibly have.
Yeah, I think, but that comes down to, if you think hurt people and healed people heal people. And I think, and I know that sounds a bit of a cliche, but I think there are people out there that once was kind and people took advantage of it. Yeah. And so they're no longer kind. And if you can get through that and be consistent, kindness will get you so far in life. And most of us sound like fucking Gary Vee now, I don't know, motivational. But it's absolutely true. It costs nothing to be kind. You get far better response from people by being kind. Yeah. But I think the problem is that kind people often don't have the strongest of boundaries. But if you can have boundaries and be kind, the world opens up for you.
That is so true. And those things are acquired over time. It's not something you're born with. It's just something you keep practicing, like boundaries. Oh my God, this is the funniest comment of the day.
Where is Isabella going? Did we lose her to NFTs?
No, I haven't gone lost to NFTs. Oh.
Do you want to finish what you were saying just there? And then what I'll do is I'll read out some of the comments as well.
Thank you. I think just, coming back to really not being afraid to being yourself. I think that's the most empowering thing, because it's easy to try to emulate somebody's personality, right? Like, oh my God, this person is so good at this, or so much fun, so let me try to be them. But what happens when we try to be somebody else, we lose our authenticity. And, we're not even at boundaries yet. That's a whole nother level, but, really starts with knowing who you are. And even if you don't know, it's okay, like getting on the road of knowing who you are, and just let people see exactly who you are, because those who are meant to be in your life will come and accept you the way you are regardless. You don't have to pretend to be somebody else and attract those who you don't want anyway.
Yeah. Totally agree. Right, let's go through some of these comments. So thanks, Isabella. It's been great to meet you at Danny's events, and you have added value, passion, and knowledge and fun to Seller Sessions. Good luck with your next
Thank
ventures.
you.
That's SK. Bree, my favourite troubled lady from Jersey. She was an absolute legend. I'll probably get a slap for that later. Isabella Hamilton, you're literally a legend. You have the most beautiful and positive energy, which is true. Another one of my favourite crazies. McLean Warren, hope you're doing well, McLean. Hotness Hamilton, love you to pieces. Such an inspiration. And then Yana has come in and said, best catchphrase. What else have we got? You'll never achieve anything great if you strive for perfection. That's reiterating what I was saying now. Howard Ty, I usually am sleeping at this time, but wanted to be here for our last episode. Cyb says it is the authenticity that we all love about Bella, Sharon, and you on Seller Sessions. Let's have a look here. Yana again says you've done such an amazing job on the podcast. Nia is here. I'm adding my personal love to Isabella, to group's love. What else have we got here? Congrats, Isla. Wish you all the best for your next venture. Thank you for all the time you've given to the community, and take care. Tiff, hello Tiff. I haven't seen you for a little while now. Tiffany says going to miss her so much. Facebook user says I love you, Isabella Hamilton. Facebook user again says you've both done an amazing job. Who else have we got here? Oh, these are the back to the beginning of the show. What's happened? This is not true. When we're talking about Marie here. So sad to see Isabella go. Such a genuine, positive, giving person. Her content is always enlightening. Thanks, Isabella. You'll be sorely missed. Mel's here. We will really miss you, Isabella Hamilton, and follows up with you guys are all smashing it.
I love all of these. Thank you so much. I feel
So
like
you know what? You can't leave now. Can you? We gave you such a good send off. You'll be back here next week.
I was gonna say I'm gonna come out of the retirement now. You know, like like I retire, but then I come back. I love it. Aww.
And Matt Atkins has said,
Matt.
sad but excited for you. Right. Cool. We think this is the end of the road, kiddo.
We're still besties, Danny.
No, I can't stand you.
I know, it's okay. You're gonna have to deal with this. You know, I mean, you put up with me for 2 years. I think we can do another lifetime. So
yeah. So what's give me a couple of highlights over the last couple of years. Who's been some of your favorite guests that you've had on?
you know what? I had a feeling you were gonna ask me this, intuition, and I was trying to think, but really, you know, I'm gonna go my hippie way again, but
Yeah.
you know, we are all so special and unique, and it's so hard, you know, picking one subject or one topic or one person, because everybody's just so unique. And whether one person is more outgoing or one is more shy, there's beauty in all of it, you know. And you know, beauty is subjective. Like you can't really pick one. I want to say every single human that I had on Seller Sessions, I enjoyed every one of those conversations. I enjoy every conversation I have with you. I loved every time you stepped in where, you know, my guest canceled last minute and you were like, absolutely, let's do it. And we did our mindset shows, which by the way, we should continue at some point. And
well, you're going to be doing some stuff with me on the Men Plus 40 anyway. So
there you go. So we're, you know, we're not going to be far from each other, but I just loved being here, Danny. I really loved it. And it was, you know, it was so hard for me to tell you because I do want to be here and I love being here. But at the same time, it's like, you know, just we evolve and we grow and we move
exactly.
on to things. And
that's why I like
plus 40, and that's going to be big and maybe even bigger than Seller Sessions. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's separate. I will talk about what's coming up for Seller Sessions on another show because this is going to be about you. So I'm going to give a full update to everyone what's coming next year with adjustments and changes. But today is obviously about you. And going back to your point, when people ask me what's your favorite show, I have to put them in groups. And for me, I think my favorite shows is when I've sat there and I've done the in depths. Some of them like hit hard, you know. I won't pick out any individual names, but they're the ones that, you know, they're the ones that give you that tingle down the spine. And I suppose some of the periods, the run through COVID, because of the times where we're like heavy in lockdown and people don't know what's going on, and it's like it's a Friday or a Saturday, it's just the vibe on the show is different. Does that make sense? It's hard to say. I can't pick out an individual show and say that's of all time. I pick out periods and groups of stuff based on how the vibe I got from it, you know, because there are certain shows that you do. I think even with the COVID thing, when we went into the second lockdown, everyone come out the summer and it's going into winter, and we've done a couple of low shows, and you could tell the vibe on the show is like, right, we've been here before, we're going to go and do it again, and that holds the glue together to know that you're going to come out on the other side and you remember that certain things because they resonate with you, don't they?
Oh, this is so good. I'm so glad you brought this up because you're right. I mean, we all got to be more connected during COVID. It's like we are all on this side, and when everybody's on one side, it's hard not to share that love and try to be supportive and loving towards your neighbor and your friend. And, you know, COVID was, you know, as weird as it was, it really brought a lot of us close. You know, I've never had so many friends in my life, Danny. Really. I mean, if you think about it, we're so blessed, all of us, to have the Amazon community because, you know, we all have friends and best friends and you have your own life, but you know, you go to these events and you spend more time with these people than you do with even your best friends. You know, when I see Christina, for example, I'm not going to, you know, be with her for 5 days straight, 24 hours, but you do that with your friends in the community, in the Amazon community. So you form different bonds with all these people. And I am just so grateful, honestly, to have a community like this. And I love every single one of them and every single one of you who's listening. And, you know, obviously you, Danny, but yeah, it's all about love, peace and love.
All right, let's sign off. Are you ready? You're going to say it for the very last time.
Yeah. I'm just going to sit here in the background. Yeah.
No. We're going to sign off on your catchphrase.
I love that.
I love you, kiddo.
Thank
you for everything you've done, and it's been great, from Branded by Women to what we've done on the platform, the stuff we've done on the road as well, and very proud of you, kid. You've gone a long way. All right, cool. I'm going to sign off before we get all a bit of mosh. Thank you for everyone for joining us today. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say. I'm speechless. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much, guys, for the feedback for Isabella. You're one of a kind. Lots of love. And I'll see you guys again later in the week. Take care.